Judge Lehman stormed out of court mid-hearing on June 26th, and now we know why. Ryan Reynolds, of all people, accidentally let it slip that Blake Lively bribed a witness to bury Justin Baldoni's case. Yeah, that happened. Everyone thought Judge Lehman was on Blake's payroll. Turns out, he wasn't the shady one. The so-called affidavit was a total fiction. The entire thing was cooked up to frame the wrong guy, and now the whole lawsuit just flipped on its head. Ryan Reynolds has just dropped the kind of bombshell that Hollywood thrives on, and this one is sending shockwaves across the industry. On June 25th, Ryan turned Instagram into a battleground, unleashing a storm of accusations that have left everyone reeling. What people once believed to be a clean-cut legal victory for his wife, Blake Lively, over Justin Baldoni, now looks anything but spotless. This wasn't just a cryptic rant or a subtle dig. Ryan brought receipts, timestamps, leaked emails, and even confidential legal documents were all put on display for the world to see. If anyone thought this was a case of a husband blowing off steam, they were mistaken. His actions were deliberate, his tone calculated, and the line that's now echoing everywhere. The truth needs to come out, no matter the cost. But that one statement has flipped the entire narrative. Blake's $400 million courtroom victory, once hailed as a masterstroke, now reeks of something far less noble: manipulation, deceit, and a carefully orchestrated facade. To understand why Ryan's bombshell is so seismic, you have to look at the role of James Vitusa. He's the Daily Mail reporter who signed an affidavit back on June 6, 2025, which became the cornerstone of Blake's defense. This wasn't just some random statement, it was the linchpin that her entire legal team built their case around. The affidavit claimed that Blake's publicist, Leslie Sloan, never engaged in a smear campaign against Baldoni. It painted Baldoni as the aggressor and Sloan as the victim. Judge Lehman leaned heavily on this document, citing it more than 10 times while dismissing Baldoni's case. It was a defining moment that gave Blake not just a victory, but the upper hand. Her legal team didn't stop there, using the affidavit to justify their demand for $1.3 million in attorney fees from Baldoni. For a while, it seemed like an airtight win, but Ryan's recent leaks have cracked that narrative wide open. According to the emails he shared, Vitusa didn't sign the affidavit willingly. Instead, he was allegedly coerced by Daily Mail executives, pressured into signing a statement he knew wasn't true. Ryan's decision to go public wasn't a spur-of-the-moment outburst. Insiders say he's been quietly stewing for months, trying to reconcile his loyalty to Blake with his growing unease over how her legal team handled the case. His Instagram expose feels like a tipping point, a moment where he decided enough was enough. This isn't just a courtroom drama anymore. It's a personal and public unraveling. Hollywood is no stranger to scandals, but this one is hitting differently. Ryan, with his trademark wit and charm, has taken on the role of whistleblower, exposing cracks in what was once seen as a perfect Hollywood power couple. And as more details come to light, the stakes are only getting higher. Ryan's actions have left people asking, is this about justice or self-preservation? Either way, he's not holding back, and the fallout is only beginning. For months, Ryan's frustration had been simmering beneath the surface. Hollywood insiders suggest he's been grappling with mounting doubts about how Blake's legal team handled the case. Then, on June 24, 2025, Ryan hit his breaking point. In an unprecedented move, he leaked private text exchanges that implicated the Daily Mail in pressuring James Vitusa to sign the affidavit. One message revealed Vitusa describing the unbearable pressure he faced from his superiors. Ryan, clearly incensed, commented, "I couldn't stand by and watch lies destroy someone's life." This wasn't just about the legal case anymore. It was personal, and Ryan's actions suggested he wasn't willing to play along any longer. While some see this as a desperate attempt to distance himself from Blake, others view it as a genuine effort to expose the truth. The biggest twist in this saga unfolded on June 25, 2025, when James Vitusa decided he was done being the fall guy. The Daily Mail reporter, who had signed the now infamous affidavit that secured Blake Lively's courtroom victory, took a bold step. He hired powerhouse criminal defense attorney Mark Jurgo Scargo to help him retract that very statement. And what Vatusa revealed was nothing short of earth-shattering. In a public declaration that stunned Hollywood and beyond, Vatusa alleged that he had been coerced into signing the affidavit by Daily Mail executives. This wasn't just a casual claim. It was an indictment of the entire process that had propped up Blake's legal win. According to Vatusa, the pressure was relentless, the threats unmistakable, and the manipulation calculated. He described being left out to dry by his employer the moment whispers of the affidavit's illegitimacy began to surface. To call this a game changer would be an understatement. The affidavit wasn't just a piece of evidence in the case, it was the piece of evidence. Judge Lehman's dismissal of Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit leaned on it heavily, citing it over 10 times in the ruling. Without it, Blake's defense doesn't just falter, it collapses. Vatusa's retraction is seismic. It's like pulling a keystone from an arch. The entire structure crumbles. Suddenly, Baldoni's legal team has a reason to appeal, and the court has a reason to reopen a case everyone thought was closed. The $400 million question is no longer whether Baldoni's claims were baseless, but whether they were buried under lies. And it doesn't stop there. The implications extend far beyond this single case. If Vatusa's claims are proven true, it won't just tarnish Blake's reputation, it could call into question the integrity of the judicial process itself. How could such a critical piece of evidence go unchecked? Why was the affidavit accepted at face value without scrutiny? These are the questions now echoing in courtrooms and boardrooms alike. The fallout is already palpable. The Daily Mail, no stranger to controversy, is facing its biggest scandal yet. Allegations of coercion and unethical practices have sparked outrage, with critics demanding accountability. Public opinion is shifting rapidly, and the hashtags Justice for Baldoni and Daily Mail lies are trending across social media. Blake Lively, once seen as a Hollywood icon with an unblemished reputation, is now at the center of a storm. Her team's once triumphant legal strategy looks more like a house of cards teetering on collapse. And her publicist, Leslie Sloan, isn't escaping scrutiny either. Accusations are swirling that she orchestrated a smear campaign against Baldoni to protect Blake. As for Ryan Reynolds, his decision to blow the whistle on this entire affair has added another layer of intrigue. Is this a calculated attempt to distance himself from Blake? Or is it a genuine act of frustration and moral reckoning? Whatever his motives, one thing is clear: he's not backing down. And Hollywood's most glamorous couple is now caught in a scandal that's anything but glamorous. With every new revelation, this drama grows more tangled, and the stakes keep climbing. One thing's for sure: this story is far from over. At the heart of this firestorm was Judge Lehman, who had leaned heavily on Vatusa's affidavit to justify dismissing Baldoni's claims. The affidavit had been referenced over 10 times in Lehman's ruling, painting a picture of Baldoni as a baseless accuser and Blake as the wronged party. But now, with the affidavit's credibility in tatters, Lehman himself was under scrutiny. Critics wasted no time calling out the judicial process. How could a piece of evidence so pivotal to the case go unchallenged? Was the court too quick to take Blake's legal team at their word? These weren't just idle questions. They were pointed accusations that cast doubt on the entire system. If a single affidavit could so profoundly influence a ruling, what did that say about the checks and balances meant to ensure fairness in the courtroom? And yes, he's absolutely right. As if the drama couldn't escalate further, came the moment that left everyone speechless. On June 26, 2025, during what was supposed to be a routine courtroom session, Judge Lehman made an unprecedented move. He walked out. And this wasn't a break for deliberation or a strategic pause. It was a full-fledged exit in the middle of proceedings, leaving the courtroom stunned. The timing was impossible to ignore. Just moments earlier, Ryan Reynolds' bombshell revelations and Vatusa's formal retraction had been introduced as evidence. The air was thick with tension, and Lehman's abrupt departure only added fuel to the fire. Was this an act of frustration from a judge overwhelmed by the scandal's magnitude? Or was it something more calculated? A move to shield himself from growing allegations of bias? Inside the courtroom, chaos erupted. Baldoni's attorney wasted no time capitalizing on the spectacle, declaring the walkout a victory for justice. Across the aisle, Blake's legal team looked visibly shaken, scrambling to contain the narrative as murmurs of doubt spread among the onlookers. Even seasoned legal analysts couldn't make sense of Lehman's actions, with some suggesting that the judge's departure hinted at deeper cracks in the case than anyone had anticipated. As the dust settled, speculation about Lehman's motives reached a fever pitch. Was the judge too close to Blake's legal team, as some critics alleged? Or was this simply the breaking point for a man caught in the middle of one of Hollywood's messiest legal dramas? Either way, the walkout underscored the gravity of Ryan's revelations and Vatusa's claims. For Blake, the stakes couldn't be higher. Her team's once flawless courtroom strategy now looked like a house of cards teetering on collapse. Baldoni's legal team, reinvigorated by the appeal, was preparing to tear apart the narrative that had shielded Blake from scrutiny. And Ryan's decision to go public wasn't just adding pressure, it was flipping the script entirely, turning a private legal battle into a public reckoning. This wasn't just a case of he said, she said anymore. It was a full-blown crisis, with implications that extended far beyond the courtroom. The public, already captivated by the twists and turns, was demanding answers. Hashtags like #JusticeForBaldoni and #Blake Scandal were trending, and the court of public opinion was beginning to shift. The story's next chapter remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. The fallout from Vatusa's retraction and Lehman's walkout has changed the game entirely. For Blake, Baldoni, and Ryan, the stakes have never been higher. As if Blake Lively's legal troubles weren't already spiraling out of control, along came Van Zen, a name now synonymous with scandal. Allegations are swirling that this shell company was Blake and Ryan's secret weapon, allegedly used to dig up private text messages that became pivotal in her defense against Justin Baldoni. Think about it. If this accusation holds water, the entire case could flip on its head. What was once seen as a strategic legal move could now be exposed as underhanded and illegal. The whispers around Van Zandt aren't just whispers anymore. They're loud enough to shake Hollywood's elite. Legal analysts are already picking apart the implications, with some calling it a potential career killer for Blake. This isn't just about courtroom tactics anymore. If the origins of that evidence are proven shady, it could not only undermine Blake's legal victory, but also damage her reputation in ways that even the best PR teams couldn't fix. These allegations are no small matter. If true, they could unravel Blake's defense from multiple angles. It's one thing to fend off claims from Baldoni's legal team. It's another thing entirely to fend off accusations that your own publicist engaged in a calculated campaign of lies. The optics of this are disastrous. What started as a courtroom battle is now a PR nightmare that could take down everyone involved. But let's not forget Ryan Reynolds in all of this. The Van Zandt scandal doesn't just put Blake in the spotlight, it drags Ryan along with her. The man who has become an unlikely whistleblower in this saga is now facing questions of his own. Did he know about Van Zandt all along? Was he complicit in these alleged tactics? Or is this his way of distancing himself from a storm that's rapidly gaining strength? Hollywood insiders are buzzing with speculation. Some believe Ryan's decision to leak documents and speak out was a calculated move to shield himself before the house of cards collapses. Others think he's genuinely disillusioned with the entire situation and determined to expose the truth, no matter the personal cost. Either way, his involvement makes this scandal even juicier. The fallout from the Van Zandt revelations is already rippling through Hollywood. Legal experts are calling for deeper investigations, social media is ablaze with hashtags like #VanZandtGate, and public opinion is turning against Blake faster than anyone could have predicted. As the dust continues to swirl, one thing is clear. This saga is far from over. With every revelation, the stakes climb higher and the narrative gets darker. For Blake, Ryan, Sloan, and even Baldoni, the consequences of this drama are only just beginning to unfold. the Daily Mail isn't walking away from this unscathed. Ryan's leaks and Vitusa's confession have put the media outlet in the hot seat. Emails allegedly show the Daily Mail working hand-in-hand with Blake's legal team to craft the affidavit, raising serious ethical questions. Public backlash has been swift. Hashtags like #DailyMailLies and #JusticeForBaldoni are trending, with calls for accountability growing louder by the day. For an outlet already mired in controversy, this scandal could be its tipping point. Ryan's decision to leak these documents has turned him into an unlikely whistleblower. His actions are being seen as both a moral stand and a strategic move to reclaim his public image. However, rumors of a rift between him and Blake are gaining traction. Hollywood loves its scandals, but this one feels like a script no one could have written. Ryan Reynolds' decision to leak explosive details about Blake Lively's legal battle has turned the spotlight squarely onto their marriage. Insiders are whispering that Ryan's move to expose the alleged bribery and manipulation isn't just about justice. It might be his way of stepping back from the storm before it consumes them both. Some say it's calculated, a strategic play to salvage his reputation as Blake's controversies grow. Others believe it's a bold act of integrity, driven by his frustration with the lies and coercion he claims to have witnessed. Regardless of his motives, Ryan's actions have divided Hollywood down the middle. There are those applauding him for his bravery. Finally, someone willing to stand up for the truth, one industry insider reportedly said. Social media is buzzing with hashtags like Team Ryan, painting him as the whistleblower Hollywood didn't know it needed. On the other side, critics accuse him of pouring gasoline on an already blazing inferno, questioning whether his leaks are more about self-preservation than morality. Then there's the elephant in the room, the state of Ryan and Blake's marriage. The once golden couple of Hollywood is now under intense scrutiny. Divorce rumors are swirling, with sources close to the pair suggesting that the mounting tension around Blake's legal woes has pushed them to a breaking point. Once known for their playful social media banter and picture-perfect red carpet appearances, the cracks in their seemingly unshakable bond are becoming glaringly evident. Blake, for her part, has stayed relatively quiet. Her legal team has dismissed the allegations as baseless and vindictive, and Blake herself hasn't made any public statements addressing Ryan's leaks. Instead, she seems to be leaning on her inner circle, desperately trying to control the narrative as public opinion tilts against her. And public opinion is shifting fast. With each new revelation, Blake's carefully curated image is taking hit after hit. The Van Zandt allegations, accusations of smear campaigns orchestrated by her publicist Leslie Sloan, and now Ryan's bombshell leaks have left her reputation hanging by a thread. Hashtags like Justice for Baldoni and Blake scandal are trending, and the whispers of her alleged wrongdoing are growing louder by the day. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni's legal team is seizing the moment. They've filed an appeal, citing fraud in the dismissal of their $400 million case. If the court reopens the case, Blake's team will have to answer for the affidavit, the Van Zandt scandal, and the growing claims of manipulation. It's a high-stakes game, and the consequences for Blake and Ryan could be catastrophic. One thing is certain, this isn't just a courtroom drama anymore. It's a full-blown Hollywood saga, with Ryan and Blake caught in the crossfire. Whether Ryan's actions will lead to justice or drive an irreparable wedge between them remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, the fallout is far from over. The implications of this scandal are massive. If Baldoni's case is reopened, Blake's legal team will have to answer tough questions about the affidavit, the Van Zandt scandal, and their alleged ties to the Daily Mail. And for Blake, the stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just about a court case anymore. It's about her reputation, her career, and her relationship with Ryan. As for Ryan, his role in this saga remains complicated. By exposing these alleged lies, he's taken a stand that could cost him personally and professionally. But one thing is clear, he's no longer willing to stay silent. This case has more twists than a Hollywood thriller. What started as a straightforward legal battle has spiraled into a scandal involving forged documents, media manipulation, and personal betrayals. With each new revelation, the stakes get higher and the questions get harder to answer. Will Baldoni finally get his day in court? Will Blake's defense crumble under the weight of its own contradictions? And what about Ryan? Will he emerge as a hero, or will his leaks only deepen the chaos? This scandal is just heating up. Stay tuned, because the next twist could blow everything wide open.